Good morning and welcome to my show. I'm your host, Danny Graham, and I both invite and encourage you to walk with me on the road to wisdom. Come on, let's walk. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Friday, March the 15th. I'm your host, Danny Graham, and I welcome you to another episode. I've been starting a reoccurring theme on Fridays where I play an inspirational song, and usually I play my favorite singer. You know who she is, Kim Burrell. But today I'm playing a male gospel artist. His name is Jonathan Butler, and the name of the song is Brand New Day. I'm going to play about 2 minutes of it. Then we're going to go ahead and get into the show. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. All right, come on in. Oh, oh, yeah, yeah. Come on, somebody. Hey, forget all your problems. Forget all your worries. God will make a way. Yes, He will. No, forget all your problems. Forget all your worries. It's a brand new day. Listen, He's the God of your salvation. He's the God of all creation. He's the one who'll see you through. He's the Alpha and Omega, Redeemer and my Savior. Here's what you got to do. Forget all your problems. Forget all your worries. God will make a way. He will make a way for you. Forget all your problems. Forget all your worries. It's a brand new day. Oh, He's the God that keeps on giving. He's the God that keeps revealing His promises to you. He's the God of every season, the God for every reason. Here's what you've got to do. Oh, yeah. Forget all your problems. Forget it all. Forget all your worries. Say, God will make a way. He will make a way. Yeah. Forget all your problems. Oh, forget all your worries. It's a brand new day. Whew. I tell you what, that hypes me up. So I'm gonna get ready for work. But Jonathan Butler, Brand New Day, check that out. The album is an awesome album, and he is one of my favorite male gospel singers. Today we're gonna be talking about the giant, and this giant's name is loneliness. Now, in the past, we talk about the giants' other brothers. The first brother was anger. Second brother was discouragement. Third brother was doubt. Fourth brother was failure. Then was fear. Then came guilt. Then came jealousy. Then Wednesday we talk about loneliness. And jealousy was Wednesday. And today we're talking about loneliness. Loneliness is the eighth brother in this 12-part giant brothers that we're trying to slay and that we're going to slay because we know the tool to slaying these giants is what? Prayer. 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 Prayer is the tool that we need to use to slay these giants. Now, as always, I tell you the definition of the word I'm talking about. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the definition of loneliness. And the definition of loneliness is sadness because one has no friends or company. It's a state of solitude or being alone. Let me say that one more time. Loneliness, sadness because one has no friends or company. It is a state of solitude or being alone. A couple of scripts I'm going to read that's going to reinforce loneliness first one comes from the book of Psalms, the 27th chapter, the 10th verse, and it reads as follows. When my father and mother forsake me, then the Lord will take care of me. When my father and mother forsake me, then the Lord will take care of me. That comes from the book of Psalms, the 27th chapter, 10th verse. Another book of Psalms, the 34th chapter, 18th verse reads as follows. The Lord is near to those who have a broken heart and saves such as have a contrite spirit. One more time. The Lord is near to those who have a broken heart and saves such as have a contrite spirit. Hmm. Read one more for you. Book of Hebrews, the 13th chapter, 5th verse says, "For he himself has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you." Book of Hebrews, the 13th chapter, the 5th verse says, "For he himself has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you." Um, Loneliness. It is one of the more insidious of the brothers, of the 12 brothers we're going to be discussing in this 12-part series. Brother number 8, like I said, is loneliness. Um, and loneliness, it is something that there's a song. It's not a spiritual song at all. It's by an artist named um, uh, so Morris Day and Time. And it just came to my mind because it has the word loneliness in the titles. It says gigolos get lonely too. It has nothing to do with what I'm trying to say. But loneliness is something that man is not meant for. When God first created heaven, he created man, which is Adam. He knew that Adam was lonely. Of all the animals that Adam named and took care of, all the different things that Adam named, the different animals in the air, the animals in the sea, um, they were companions to him, so to speak, but they were not the kind of companionship that God wanted for Adam, that God wanted for man. And that's when he put Adam into a deep sleep, and he took Adam's rib, of course, and fashioned a woman out of it, named the woman Eve, and the woman was Adam's companion. Eve was Adam's companion because Adam was feeling lonely. I do not believe that God is meant for humans to be lonely. He wants us to pair with each other, with one person in particular. Now, there are some exceptions to the rule. If you read the Bible, when things don't work out, there's a certain level of, let's say, um, when cheats being unfaithful. I can't remember the particular book in the Bible, but I can find it and show you that there are one or two exceptions to the rule where it is acceptable by God for there to be a divorce or a parting of ways. But mainly, God wants us, when you find that man, you find that woman, He wants us to be evenly yoked and He wants us to be together because He does not want man to be alone because loneliness can lead to such despair. If you're left alone, you can lose your mind. There has been different kind of lonelinesses that we'll be discussing that can lead to insanity. It can just lead to such a level of despair that you just sometimes will hurt yourself. Sometimes you will try and hurt yourself. Sometimes you will go through hurting yourself. And suicide is something that loneliness, unfortunately, is a derivative of suicide. Is loneliness is a derivative of suicide because a lot of times when people don't have someone to talk to or someone to care on them and check on them, they just give up hope. When you give up hope, a lot of times that leads to despair. And when you lead to despair and you feel you have nothing to live for, no one to live for, no one cares about you, no one checks on you, no one interacts with you, then the mind can play tricks on people. The enemy can go in there and make it even worse than it maybe already is, or just put even more despair on you than what's possible. And if you're not strong enough in prayer and spiritually, have a spiritual foundation, then it can get the best of you. And we've seen that so many times in our society, so many times in our culture, that loneliness, someone just didn't have anything to do, they had nothing to live for, didn't have anyone to talk to, anyone to check on. And a lot of times in our culture, it's sad to say, but when you get old, sometimes people forget you. They just throw you away because you're no longer active like you used to be. Sometimes a younger person or a younger child or a younger brother or younger sister or whatever the case may be, um, is living their own life, and it seems like you kind of throw to the wayside, and you don't speak as strong, or you don't walk as strong, or you don't interject as much because um, you just age catches with you, and then sometimes you just lose some of your energy and your vitality. And sometimes people just like, well, life goes on, and life does go on, but still at the same time, you should make time because my dad told me this one time: keep living. And when I was young, I was like, "What is he talking about?" Now I know because He's 21 years older than me, older than me, and I'm in my 50s now. And some days I'm like, oh, good lord, the 53-year-old Danny is nothing like the 33-year-old Danny because I used to go sleep. I think I just told him this. This is about 45 or 6 years ago when I was in my 40s. Man, I could sleep 3 or 4 hours, five, and function 100% the next day. Now, man, I got to have 7 or 8. And sometimes, man, I want 8 or 9. So I mean, it's definitely a difference. But um, loneliness, like I said, to get back on topic, loneliness can be something that, um, yeah, it can really play a mind trick on you. And if you're not strong, don't have a good faith foundation, don't have people that you can talk to and stuff, sometimes it can lead to despair and then lead to you trying to hurt yourself, which is very unfortunate. Um, Couple of things I want to talk about. Situational loneliness that occurs when during certain times. That's the first kind of loneliness we're going to talk about. That's situational. And a lot of times I'll give you examples of situational. Let's say you had a loved one that died around Christmas or during the holidays or Christmas holidays or Thanksgiving holidays or on a birthday or on a particular day that you and that person did something like religiously or like a ritual, like every Saturday you go to the park or something, or every Saturday you go out for breakfast or something. That person dies or moves away or something happens, and then whenever that day is happening, you used to do that all the time. You can feel lonely because, like, man, I can't believe it. Um, Bobby's not here anymore. I remember every Saturday morning we get up and we go to Shoney's and get breakfast, and then go shopping or whatever the case may be. Or man, it's Christmas time and Bobby's not here anymore, and man, I'll tell you, we used to go and shop. We used to watch the football game. We used to watch whatever the case may be. And man, it's Thanksgiving. I remember he used to come to my house or I go to his house and we'd eat turkey and ham and dress and all that good stuff. And when that friend gone leaves or passes, and sometime when that particular situation, that particular holiday, that particular birthday, that particular day of the week or whatever I used to do religiously or used to do together as friends or a spouse or a parent or a child or a cousin or best friend, whatever the case may be, whenever that person's gone and y'all don't do it anymore, sometimes you can become lonely, especially around that the anniversary of that particular time when you lost them. The birthdays can be lonely. Like I said, holidays can be lonely. Certain days of the week can be lonely. You can watch certain TV shows together, it can be lonely. Or you go watch the movie together, or go shopping together, anything. And whenever that day or that particular day comes across me and you feel that loneliness and that empty spot, that's called situational loneliness. Now, chronic loneliness, the second thing we'll talk about is feeling lonely all the time. It's like a chronic illness. You just depression, I guess, could be a part of it, but you just feel like no one's in your life, or no one understands what you're going through, or no one seems to be able to connect to you on a level. And you just feel lonely all the time. You could be in a room full of people, but you feel like you're just out of sorts. That you feel like no one really understands what you're going through, or no one really understands you as a person. And you could be, like I said, you could go to work and be functioning, but after work you go home and you just sit in your house or you just do your own thing. You have no one to talk with, no one to interact, no one that really gets you for the person that you are. And then that's called chronic loneliness. And no matter what you do, most of the time or all the time, you just feel lonely. A lot of times that happens like when you've been married to someone for years, like 50, 60, 70 years, and that person dies, then you feel out of touch. You feel out of sorts because all you know is that person. You never live most of your adult life without that person. And when he or she is gone, that person is gone, then you feel like you lost an arm, like you lost a leg, like you lost a part of your very soul, a part of your very body. Like you're just going through the motions, and that can be an example of chronic loneliness. And a lot of people go through that. I've known some people that like been married 50, 60, 70 years. I mean, me and my wife, we've been married almost 30 years. I can imagine which one of us goes first, the other one's going to feel that way, because you're just used to that person. You're used to waking up, you're used to seeing them, you're used to going to breakfast with them, doing things with them, and it's just become such a second nature habit that when that days happen, unfortunately, man, you're gonna feel lost. So that's an example of chronic loneliness. Another example of loneliness is called intimate loneliness. And that's when you have a very deep relationship, kind of like with your husband, your wife, or it can be with a friend, someone that's totally not, you don't have any kind of romantic relationship at all, but you've been friends for so long, and and someone that you can turn to whenever something goes down. You can pick up the phone and call this individual. I have a friend like that. His name is Jamie. We have been friends close to 30 years. And right now, if I pick up the phone, it is right now I'm filming this. It's actually Thursday night, but I'm gonna release this on Friday morning. But right now it's 11:35. I'm filming this now. If I call him right now and say, "Hey Jamie, I need you. I got something going on," he will get out of his bed and get in the car and drive hour or something here, and vice versa if it was me. Um, and when if he dies with me or whatever, it's gonna be a intimate loneliness for a friend because we've been friends for so long. We get that connection. I don't think we never had a crossword, never in our 30 years of friendship. Never had a crossword. Things we didn't agree on because he agrees with. I can't say this, Donald Trump, and I don't. But man, you talk about it, but man, really, you gonna vote for? And then he be like, yeah, but like getting mad and upset, had an argument, never. And I don't think we never will because we just clicked from day one. Day one, we just clicked. So um, if you get a friend like that, you need to hold on to them because they are far few in between. My wife of course, is my number one best friend, and my family, my daughters and my son, and of course, my parents and my brothers and sisters, they're my friends. But um, non-related friends, I have four, and we talk about it every day. But out of those four friends, Jamie truly my best friend. We've been friends the longest. But I got four friends, and we talk, and we're really close. And if you find that circle, you're lucky to find one true friend. But I got four. I got four now, and I know if I really, really needed their help, that they're coming. And a lot of people can't say that. And um, when they're gone, or if I go first, I know there's going to be an empty spot in their life and my life because we become so close. And definitely with my family, wife, daughters, son, and my parents and my siblings. Um, there's another kind of loneliness I want to talk about. It's relational loneliness. Relational loneliness. That's when you miss having a social interaction with your friends. Just like I said, if something would happen to one of my four friends, it would be very, very hurtful feeling because we we talk. I talk to two of them just about every day. Um, One we call occasionally, but another we call even less. But I know for a fact when we get on the phone, we talk, man, we pick up from where it is. But these are the four that probably know the most about me outside my family, and that we talk about different aspects. What I like about it is I have a very diverse friendship. Me and one guy, we have similar likes in fashion and sports. Me and female, we have similar family dynamics. Me and Jamie, we have similar family dynamics as well. We have law enforcement on top of that, and then we have sports and all different things. Um, uh, he knows my up and downs in life. I know his up and downs in life. There's another one. I met him in law enforcement in an earlier um, agency. We became friends, and we talked about everything. I know his up and downs. You know my up and downs. We worked together at a couple departments in a couple of other different locations. And, we've been friends probably going on close to 15 years now. So, but all different personalities, different views on life, different aspects on life. Um, Two of my friends about the same age. One's a little bit younger than me, and one's a lot younger than me. But I got different aspects from different perspectives. So, very diverse group of people. And like I said, relational loneliness. Something happened to one of those guys, man. very hurtful and painful because, um, like I said, they're my friends, and I depend on them a lot for conversation, advice when I need things, different points of view, different perspectives on life, and someone I can they're definitely people I can depend on. And the last one I want to talk about is collective loneliness, and that's when you have people outside of your core. Those that's my circle, the full circle. Well, my inner circle is my family, my wife, my daughters, my son, and my parents and my siblings and stuff. But outside of that, the next ring of that circle is my four friends I just told you about. But outside of that ring of people, colleagues, people I talk to, I'm friendly with, people we have the same thing in common. And then a lot of times and I think when you're going to have collective loneliness is like when you leave your profession, because that family where I'm in, the law enforcement family, there's about 80 people in total in the department, somewhere close to 80 people, and we interact 5 days out of the week, sometimes more, and you see them every day. Sometimes more than you see your own family, or just as much as you see your family. And then when you retire and you step away from that, you don't see them every day. Then part of you going to miss that. Part of you going to be lonely before the camaraderie from the interaction you have with those people is all different kind of personalities, all different kind of men, women, different age groups, different aspects on life, different dreams and aspirations in life. When you leave that profession, when you retire, then a part of you going to miss that because for 20 something years, I mean, 28 years, that's all I've known law enforcement departments, the police, the law enforcement camaraderie, the brotherhood, the going to battle together, the ups and downs, the highs and lows of law enforcement. And when you retire, man, you're gonna miss that. There's no doubt in my mind I'm gonna miss that now. Um, am I gonna be able to survive and thrive in retirement? Oh, most definitely. I definitely think I'm gonna do that. But I know a part of me is going to miss that, being in the know with some things, talking to some people, trying to help the young officers and make decisions that's going to make our agency better overall. I'll probably miss that, but yeah, well, but life goes on. Those are just different aspects of loneliness that I talked about. You see, like I said, situational loneliness that occurs like a holiday or a birthday or something you and a loved one did together, and then the loved one, um, you lose that loved one all of a sudden. Then whenever that particular day comes, a holiday or whatever, you feel lonely and you miss them. Second one we talked about was chronic loneliness. Chronic loneliness, and that's kind of I guess, derivative of being depressed. Like every day you just feel lonely, especially if you lost your husband, you lost your spouse, or you lost your child, or you lost your parent or something. And you just feel lonely every day. You're just out of sorts until you can able to get yourself back on track. The third thing we talked about was intimate loneliness. That's when you have a deep relationship with your spouse or even a friend that's non-romantic, and you lose that individual, and you become lonely on that part as well. um, Relational loneliness. If you got your friends, your core friends, your best friends, and then you miss that particular when something happened to them, or they move away or something, or they're not in your life on a daily basis, or whatever um, frequency they were in and out your life, they just totally move away, or you lose them or something, or you move away, and you're gonna be lonely because of that. And the last one, of course, is collective loneliness. That's the people like in your profession, in your job, in your church. If you decide to go to another church, move to another town, what you're used to seeing to every day and interacting with every day, you're going to miss that. Another example is if you retire, you've been doing something for 20 something years, 30 something years, and then all of a sudden it's there no longer. There's going to be an empty spot. There's going to be a loneliness. You're going to yearn for that camaraderie. You're going to yearn for that interaction that you're going to miss. But like I said, I think I'm definitely going to enjoy retirement because the idea of sleeping in late if I want to, going fishing when I want to, not worrying about carrying two phones, not worrying about a phone ringing and I'm dealing with somebody else's problem and issues. I think that's going to appeal to me after I retire. I'm not worrying about that. And but that's here nor there. That's a different topic for a different day. And that's just my 2 cents on loneliness. Like I said, you can always defeat any of these giants with prayer. Prayer is a direct connection from you, from us, to God to say, look, I need help. This particular giant is on me and he's not letting up. I guarantee you, you pray and you're patient. God will answer your prayer. God will give you the relief. He's not going to put more on you than what you can stand. A quote I'm going to read about loneliness is, in fact, I got two quotes. The first quote is, loneliness does not come from having no people around, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you. Let me say that one more time. Loneliness does not come from having no people around, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you. Make sure you articulate to people, because a lot of times people think that, well, you think that people can read your mind and your body language, and sometimes they can read it, but sometimes that can be a smoke screen, and you just putting up a front, you putting up a smile, you putting up this I'm tough guy, tough woman persona, and actually you're hurting inside. So if you're hurting inside, you find somebody at your church, at your job, in your family, your friends, somewhere that you talk to, and you try and get this off your chest, because being lonely is something that I guarantee you is miserable. And it is not intended by God for a man to be lonely. That is why he created Eve for Adam. And it is my strong belief that we function together and we are better. We are meant to be um, together and not be by ourselves, because being by ourselves can lead sometimes the mind can play tricks on you and make you think all kind of crazy stuff. And the enemy can attack and use different tactics to try to make situations worse than they are. So definitely, if you feel one of these giants on you, especially loneliness, you pray and you get you some help. Second quote I want to say before I get up here is, there are worse things than feeling alone. Things like being with someone and still feeling alone. Now, that is very powerful. Listen to what I'm saying. I want to say it one more time. There are worse things than feeling alone. Things like being with someone and still feeling alone. Sometimes, before you take those vows, you meet someone and they're just not doing it for you. And you're in love with the fact that you're in love with the fact of being in love, or you're in love with that you act like you can't be by yourself. Sometimes it's good to be by yourself, not totally isolated or beyond reaching with somebody. Like I see some of these shows in Alaska where these people are out in the middle of nowhere, they're staying by themselves. No, that to me that's crazy. There's some people that want to live off the grid and live off the land and all that kind of stuff. That's all well and good, but I want to live off the grocery store. I want light and power. I don't want to have to shovel 10 miles of snow to get somewhere, or worry about trying to fix something and I don't have the adequate tools or the adequate equipment and all that kind of stuff. And then if something happened, I'm miles and miles and miles away from hospital or any kind of help or treatment. That makes zero sense to me. But if that floats your boat, go right ahead. But um, feeling alone when you with somebody, that is a bad feeling. So I was listening to a sermon earlier, I think by Vodi Bakum, and he was talking about that you have to pray and ask for the right person. And then sometimes the body or the flesh um, wants somebody because they're having a good time, or want somebody because their company is fantastic. But there ain't nothing biblical about this person you with. You just want to have a good time. And you think that if you go ahead and marry this person or commit to this person, that when you get married, that you can pray to God and God's going to magically fix it. Well, God can magically fix it if you choose to do so. But also, God gives us all the tools, the necessary equipment that we need to pray for someone that is going to be in the same ballpark as we are spiritually. He wants us to be with someone that is equally yoked. The Bible talks about being equally yoked. He does not want you to be that you're a believer and you marry a non-believer. I don't think God wants you to be like that. But sometimes, and most times when I got married, we believed in God, but we weren't saved. And I think if one person gets saved after they've been married, that the person has to pray in that particular case, pray and ask for God to show and enlighten the spouse, and that let you be a glowing example of what to do. I do believe you and your spouse, you love each other, you understand that one becomes a believer and the other one's not there quite yet. That if you live an example and he or she sees how you're doing, how you carrying yourself, they see the change in you, they're going to want that change too, especially if that change is positive, especially if that change is real. Sometimes people like to say that they're saved and they're this and they're that, and they're not. They think they are. But when you become saved, you're going to know when that happens. When it happens to you that day, you're going to know it. Because a lot of times people think, and I used to think this one time too, that you can just say, Lord, I give you, I recognize you as my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and I give my life to you. Amen. Or whatever the little things that I know throughout the years, people say, well, you're saved. I didn't feel saved. I didn't feel any different. And I was thinking, you can't, logic, you can't use logic to try to get saved. It's something that is an emotional, spiritual feeling. And when you feel it, you're going to know it. When I became saved last year, there was a feeling on me like those first 3 or 4 days after I committed, sincerely committed. I can't describe that feeling I felt. It was like nothing could touch me. It was like I had a calm and a peace about me. I mean, like if you said something, I could just bounce back off and just be just as nice and be just as I felt full with wisdom. I felt like I can't describe what it was. And there were two people, and I done said this before, that before then, if they walked in the room, if I saw them on TV, if I saw them walking on the other side of the road, I would instantly get angry. I'm talking about Incredible Hulk angry. I remember a couple times me and my friends, we go to lunch and we go to this particular restaurant and get lunch. And when these individuals walk in, boy, I was already in a bad mood, nasty, 0 to 100 and angry. Would not speak to this sucker. He could say, "Hey, I ain't trying. I don't want to hear it." But after April, I've done spoke to this individual a couple times. If you want to talk to me, we have a conversation. The other individual, I was at a basketball game working security, and he knew I didn't like me because in the past I done said stuff, man, like, "Don't you ever say nothing to me." Other officers may like you, but I don't like you. Don't say nothing to me. Just keep going. You see me, keep going. Do not say nothing to me because I don't like you. I don't care nothing about you. Leave me alone. I done told him that a couple times. I mean, I had a lot of venom behind it. I just didn't like this individual. And then I remember probably about a month ago, I went security and he walked by me and he didn't say nothing. I said, "Hey, man, what's up?" He looked, he was like, "You talking to me?" And he couldn't believe it because he walked by 2 or 3 times and I hey, then he tried to buy me something to drink. I said, "Man, I'm good." I said, "I just had something to drink, man. I'm just speaking, man." And he's like, "Officer Graham, yeah, yeah, yeah." I'm like, hey, it's that anger, that hate, that 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 intense anger just went away. And I know what that was. And so trying to get back to what I'm saying. Lost my train of thought. But anyway, like I said, loneliness is the giant we're talking about today. If you're feeling lonely, man, pray to God. Prayer is the direct uh, form of communication that we need. That God will answer our prayers and will help us out, and He'll get this giants, any one of these giants that I'm talking about, off our back. Monday will be the 18th. We coming back. We're talking about a giant, and that giant name is procrastination. And boy, procrastination is really a big one. I can't wait to jump into that and unpack that. But before I got up here, like I always do, if anyone comes to you and say, "Look, the Bible is a bunch of junk," I don't believe it. From the time it was written to time is now, it's been changed and rewritten, and words don't mean the same thing, and people taking stuff out of context, and it's so divisive sometimes with Christians and stuff. Why you even believe that? And this is what you need to tell them, because this is what I'm going to tell them. I'm going to say, "Hey, look, I choose to believe the Bible because it's a reliable collection of historical documents written down by eyewitnesses during the lifetime of other eyewitnesses. They report to us supernatural events that took place in fulfillment of specific prophecies and claim that their writings are divine rather than human in origin." That comes from Pastor Vodi Bakum. Check him out on YouTube. He is an awesome pastor. He gives very good messages. I will try to watch him at least a few times a week. Now, before I get it here, I want to actually do a few things. First thing, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please hit notification bell because notification bell lets you know every time I upload something. 3, please leave a comment. The comment definitely helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. 4, leave a comment. No, third is hit the like button, the thumbs up. That helps with YouTube algorithm. Fourth is leave a comment. All your comments I read and try to get back to you. And also, if you have a topic that you want me to discuss, leave that in the comment, and I will definitely talk on it and research it and try to produce a show talking about that particular subject you want me to talk about. Last but not least, please watch the videos from the start to the finish because it also helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. It's supposed to be 80 degrees today, which is Friday when you're watching this. 80 degrees. Man, I wish I was out on the boat in the water somewhere. And I think tomorrow going to be Saturday. It's going to be like 70 something degrees. So if I get an opportunity to go out on the boat somewhere, I'm going to be out on the boat enjoying this fantastic early spring. So until then, y'all have a fantastic day. You take it easy and be blessed. See you later.